Mirri Maz Duur was called a Magi by the Dothraki, a group seen with disdain for their use of blood magic. However, Daenerys did not share their concern, and so allowed her to treat Drogo's wounds with her medicines. The Khal at first allowed it, but came to find the treatment uncomfortable, tearing off her work and replacing it with mud plaster. The wound then grew infected, causing Drogo to weaken and fall off his horse, a sign that a Khal could no longer fulfill his duties as a leader. Daenerys then ordered Mirri to use her blood magic in order to save him, and she agreed, but warned that only death may pay for life. The God's Wife then ordered that no one enter the tent during the ritual, but as they waited outside, the Khalasar erupted into fighting, with many believing Drogo was dead and others objecting to the use of magic. Daenerys became surrounded by violence, as her personal soldiers and Jorah Mormont fought to defend their position. Daenerys then went into labor, passing out in Jorah's arms, as he carried her inside the tent to be treated by Mirri, who was still performing the ritual on Drogo. When Daenerys awoke, her child was dead, her husband alive though in a catatonic state, and the Khalasar was gone, abandoning their fallen leader and choosing new Khals to rule them. Left with only a few slaves and sworn warriors, Daenerys euthanized her husband to end his suffering, then placing Drogo and her 3 dragon eggs in a funeral pyre along with Mirri Maz Duur, who appeared to have purposely betrayed her, claiming that with her husband and son gone, they could no longer hurt innocent people. And so Daenerys sentenced her to burn. As a red comet appeared in the sky, the fire was lit, and with the pyre alight, Daenerys fearlessly walked into the inferno. In the morning, when the fire burned out, her servants searched among the ashes, and found Daenerys unharmed alongside 3 freshly hatched dragons, naming them Drogon, Rhaegal, and Viserion. Traveling south, Daenerys led her people to the city of Qarth, where she was invited to stay in the palace of Xaro Xhoan Daxos, who offered a marriage alliance only to be turned down. The Mother of Dragons was then rejected when attempting to convince the pureborn rulers of the city to join her cause. She then met with a mysterious woman in a red mask named Quaithe, who urged her to visit the far eastern city of Asshai. With few options left in Qarth, Daenerys turned to the warlocks of the House of the Undying, visiting their tower alongside her dragon Drogon. There she saw a number of visions and was told she would light 3 fires, one for life, one for death, and one to love, ride 3 mounts, one to bed, one to dread, and one to love, and face 3 betrayals, one for blood, one for gold, and one for love. In the end, the warlocks attacked her, but she was defended by Drogon, who breathed fire upon them, allowing for Daenerys to escape. No longer welcome in Qarth, an assassination attempt was made on her life, but she was saved by a white-haired man calling himself Arstan, who was sent by her former benefactor Illyrio Mopatis, along with 3 ships to take her home to Pentos. They hastily left the city, but stopped in Astapor along Slaver's Bay before returning to the Free Cities, still needing an army for her conquest of Westeros. During the voyage, Ser Jorah Mormont professed his love for Daenerys, but she did not return his feelings. She was, however, lonely since the death of her husband, and so took her handmaiden Irri as a lover. Once arrived in Astapor, she purchased every unsullied warrior available, slave soldiers castrated at a young age and trained their whole lives for battle. To pay for the army, she gave them her dragon Drogon, only to betray the slavers after the deal went through, ordering her new army to kill their former rulers and take the city. The good masters of Astapor were quickly defeated, and Daenerys freed every one of their slaves, including her own soldiers, asking them to follow her as freedmen. Leaving a council to rule the city, Daenerys Stormborn led her new army to the nearby city of Yunkai, continuing her campaign to end slavery in the region. The wise masters who ruled Yunkai, having heard of the fall of Astapor, hired the Stormcrows and Second Sons mercenary companies to strengthen their defenses. However, this city also fell to her forces, aided by the betrayal of Daario Naharis, who killed the other 2 leaders of the Stormcrows and joined Daenerys. Once again, she freed all slaves and earned yet another nickname called Misa, meaning mother, by the local population. She then took her army north to Meereen, the final city along Slaver's Bay, where she found that the Great Masters had nailed 163 slave children to mileposts. When she arrived, yet another assassination attempt was made on her life, but she was once again saved by Arstan, who revealed himself to be Ser Barristan Selmy, former Kingsguard of Westeros, seeking to serve House Targaryen once more. Ser Barristan also revealed that Ser Jorah Mormont was originally a spy, sent by the court of King Robert Baratheon. Shocked that her two closest advisors were not who they seemed, she ordered that they go on a mission to infiltrate Meereen through the sewers, while the army attacked above, in order to free the slaves in the city so they might revolt against their masters. Although this was an extremely dangerous assignment that could easily have resulted in their deaths, they successfully completed the mission, leading to the fall of the city. Afterwards, Daenerys forgave Ser Barristan for the deception, but could not forgive Jorah, and exiled him from Meereen. The queen then nailed 163 masters to posts in front of the Great Pyramid as retribution for the children they killed, and went about putting the city in order. A special thanks to all those who contribute to Civilization X, like Knight of the X, Samey the Fair Butehige, Honir the Dead Raven, and Septon Woodford of the Riverlands. If you would like to help Civilization X, click on the Patreon link, and please be sure to like and subscribe, and click on the links to see more.